Hi, I'm Lino, a Titan living in China, learning English. With Halloween just around the corner, a holiday originally popularized in Western countries like the US and Canada, more young people and families with children in China have started to join in trick-or-treat festivities. However, this year, just before Halloween weekend, news emerged that authorities in Shanghai were imposing restrictions on Halloween costume celebrations. Some social media users on platforms like Weibo and Xiaohongshu shared that areas usually packed with Halloween revelers, such as Julu Road and Changle Road, had been cordoned off with police officers stationed at subway stations, advising those in costumes to turn back. One Weibo user joked, "I thought everyone was cosplaying as police officers this year. Turns out they were real." After some citizens gathered at Shanghai's Zhongshan Park, the park quickly announced a temporary closure, citing internal adjustments. The park would close starting at 2 p.m. on October 27, 2024, with the reopening date to be announced. The notice asked visitors to spread the word and apologized for any inconvenience. Additionally, Jinjiang Amusement Park in Minhang District announced it would not admit visitors in costume until after November 1st. One Xiaohongshu user commented that this year, those wanting to celebrate Halloween would have to pay to go to Disneyland or Happy Valley. Last year's Halloween was the first after Shanghai's extended COVID lockdowns. The occasion coincided with the sudden passing of former Premier Li Keqiang, nearly 1 year after China lifted its COVID restrictions. Many young people took to the streets in costume, using the holiday as an opportunity to creatively and boldly express discontent and criticism of societal issues. Some memorable costumes included Dubai, the pandemic enforcers in full protective gear, and signs like "Studying medicine can't save the Chinese people," a nod to Lu Xun, or a woman covered in blank sheets of paper, referencing the White Paper Movement. The White Paper Movement, or A4 Revolution, began as protests against COVID-19 lockdowns in mainland China in November 2022, sparked by frustration over strict lockdown measures that confined people to their homes and restricted access to essentials. The protests escalated after a tragic fire in Urumqi, Xinjiang, on November 24, 2022, which killed 10 people. It was suspected that lockdown barriers prevented fire trucks from entering the community, fueling public outrage and prompting many to question the harsh lockdown policies. At that time, I also endured China's extreme policies for more than 2 years. It was the worst experience of my life. Unfortunately, I was not brave enough and did not take to the streets to participate in the event. I just supported it online. This year's Halloween restrictions in Shanghai have again sparked discontent among netizens, who feel authorities are overreacting and stifling people's creativity. Some find it a shame that people can't simply enjoy a holiday to relieve stress. On Weibo, one user quipped, "You think they're banning cosplay, but they're really cosplaying Shanghai's lockdowns." For Shanghai police, and by extension, the Chinese authorities, the gathering of young people once again has become a sensitive political issue. They worry that Halloween celebrations could spark a repeat of the White Paper Revolution that erupted 2 years ago in Shanghai. On October 25, 1 year ago, a spontaneous gathering commemorated the victims of the Urumqi fire. Local police intervention quickly transformed this vigil into widespread protests across Shanghai, Beijing, and other cities. This White Paper Revolution effectively marked the end of China's strict, dynamic zero-COVID policy, pushing Beijing to slowly and awkwardly reopen. Although this youth-led movement was short-lived and lacked formal organization, it had a lasting impact. It sent shockwaves through Shanghai and Beijing, leaving authorities on edge about the potential for further unrest. In response, authorities installed around 3,000 facial recognition cameras across Shanghai by the end of 2022. Nationwide, The government also targeted the so-called 5 lost groups, those who have lost investments, lost hope, lost relationships, lost balance and lost stability, and intensified social stability efforts. They stopped publishing youth unemployment data, encouraged universities to delay graduation, and launched an anti-lying flat media campaign to counter youth apathy. During Shanghai's lockdown in March 2022, 2 young residents famously told a police officer, "We are the last generation." This statement resonated with the spirit of the White Paper Revolution, motivating many middle-class citizens to emigrate. Halloween gatherings have since become a quiet act of defiance for Shanghai's youth, reflecting their frustrations and a newfound determination to stand up against rigid control. Currently, Beijing faces another potential flashpoint. October 26th to 27th marks the anniversary of Premier Li Keqiang's passing. To prevent any potential commemorative gatherings, the marathon in Hefei was postponed, Zhongshan Park in Shanghai was closed, and universities in both Beijing and Shanghai are on high alert. Beijing fears that gatherings of disheartened, disillusioned and displaced citizens could quickly turn into memorials for Li Keqiang, similar to the protests that followed the deaths of Hu Yaobang in 1989 and Zhou Enlai in 1976. Beijing's extensive investment in stability maintenance over the past decade highlights the vulnerability of China's leadership, both psychologically and institutionally. It also reveals the latent power of Shanghai's youth, a force that perhaps even they are unaware of but which deeply unsettles Beijing. Do you know what a paper tiger is? 纸老虎. It means a tiger made of paper. Chinese people often use it to describe people who are strong on the outside but weak on the inside. The legacy of the White Paper Revolution shows that even under near total control, a leaderless, unorganized protest is possible. It suggests that any minor act of dissent or a harmless gathering could unexpectedly grow into a large-scale movement. Ironically, this cycle of control has led to social and economic stagnation, prompting the government to shift toward openness in an attempt to counter an impending recession. In other words, this cyclical roller coaster policy has played out multiple times over the past decade, and its roots lie in the restlessness of the younger generation. Beijing remains reluctant to acknowledge this reality, but Shanghai's youth continually showcase it. Perhaps this is the real political performance, the collective cosplay, that China faces today. I'm Lino, a Titan in China, learning English. See you next time.